following me?
The corporation won't stop until it has you. Your only chance is to stop seeing the girl.
How are you doing today?
Hi, Chris. I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Are you here in the States or are you in Australia?
No, I'm currently in a provincial French town outside of Paris.
Oh, sorry, Miss Paris,
Yeah, just casually, whatever, It's very Beauty and the Beast vibes, literally.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. And thank you for allowing us, obviously, to watch Expired. Such a great film. Before we even get started, I mean, you're pretty new to this game. This is, this is kind of like a big, huge feature for you. So just knowing that you're part of this film that is being released this month, how are you feeling about that opportunity that you were given? That you fought for? Excuse me, not given. You fought for it and you got it.
Given, fought for.
Yes.
I always normally have like a mental breakdown before anything comes out. It's like, yeah, like for me, it's like giving birth. Like, I don't know how like men feel, like how my male counterparts feel as actors, but it's like being a surrogate mum. It's been years of this. Like I haven't had the film script for like 10 years. Like for me, it's in the last 3 years of back and forth, COVID for it to come out. So it feels like I'm about to give birth. I'm terrified, but it's in good hands. It's been raised by good people, the baby. So hopefully the baby's loved. Fingers crossed. Yeah.
Well, I liked it. I actually watched it twice. I watched it once the whole way through, and then I went back and watched the little pieces because there were so many like moving parts. It wasn't simplistic. It was very vast, but not overwhelming. What I want to, start with is when talking with Ryan earlier this week, he actually said that Ivan was like super picky about your part. He was like, look, we need to find the perfect April. I will not make this film unless I find the perfect April. And you are the perfect April. I mean, how does that feel? Because this has been something that Ryan and Ivan have been talking about for a decade pretty much. And they felt like you were the one that was needed, the missing part to make it. How's that feel? Ivan's such a huge director.
Oh my god, those two are so dramatic, but they're so dramatic and like really serious. Like he was gonna quit the film if he didn't find the right girl. They're so dramatic. I love them. No, it's surreal. Like this is my first speaking role. I've only had one non-speaking role, to walk on and to be Nicholas Holt's lover in a scene very quickly. So this has changed my life. Like it's a total privilege, a total honor. And like, at first I was like, oh my God, like how can he trust me with this script he's had for 10 years, that he sees me in the character in me. It's surreal. Like mom always said, to get a role, it's like winning the jackpot, and it feels like I won the jackpot, just to be trusted with something so as you said, so meaningful, so thoughtful. It's exciting and scary.
What did you find in April, like when you went to audition for this role? Because April is such a complex character and she has such an important part in this film. Like when you read that script and when you auditioned, what do you think it was that you found in April that you brought into that room that made Ivan and Ryan just say like, this is our April?
Well, April is a migrant worker living in Hong Kong, and she's someone who's displaced from her home, from her family, from her identity, from her roots. And I guess the first person I thought of was my mum. Like she was removed from her home, like from a similar age as April. She lost her family. She was very much alone in the world, and she went to she escaped Vietnam, like my dad did, as on boats, and they landed in Malaysia. And after the war ended, there were refugee camps all over, and as well in Hong Kong as well. So for me, when I read April, I just saw someone like my mum. I saw my cousins who, even though they aren't like my young cousins study and stuff, but like one generation behind, like my older cousins, like I had one who went to Malaysia to work for like a year, didn't see his family at all. He was working in like a factory. My parents are factory workers. So for me, like I understand, like she's someone that just feels so real, someone who's trying to survive. Yeah. Absolutely. And she's a woman who's broken, who's resilient, who, just yeah, finds love when she doesn't realize that it's the one thing that she actually needed. Yeah.
And one of the big important parts about this film is obviously your chemistry with Ryan. I mean, that was one of the big things to make this love story really work in this film. How long did you have to really build that chemistry as actors? And what, I think us non-actors are always fascinated how you two can just like jump on a screen, and your characters didn't have a typical love story. It was so complex. Like, you really brought out a lot in his character. How did you build that chemistry, and what was it like working directly with Ryan?
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, I think it's a bit easier, actors say, if you're falling in love on screen, because at the same time you can get to know each other in real life, and then you slowly fall in love. And basically, I just fell in love with Ryan Johnson. You have to fall in love with him, but you just like, okay, like, and he's so easy to fall in love with. Like, you meet him, the first night we were just eating on a rooftop in Hong Kong at the hotel, and we spent time together. But he was just so professional and so giving. Like, he just gave me everything, trusted me completely. And because he trusted me and just saw me, it allowed me to fly, and to just trust him. Because if, like in life, if you feel that someone just really loves you and believes in you completely, like, magic can happen. And for me, I just felt, he helped me fly. Yeah.
Yeah, and we saw that chemistry obviously come out on stage. Tell us a little bit about some of the deeper meaning that you took out of the film, because there was definitely this deeper message. It kind of definitely felt like it made sense with the current times, the cough. I mean, there's so many different elements that reflected the world today. What did you take, watching the film back? What did you take from it, and what do you hope audiences take from? Because there is a love story. There's also a lot more going on as well.
I mean, as you said, like, the whole landscape aside of the chaos, the brokenness, the political unrest, all that stuff aside, which is the world, right now. It's interesting. I think it's a real commentary on how love is a luxury. Like us living in the Western world, it's like, oh, love, you go on Tinder, you go out, you meet someone. Love feels like love is very hard to find, but it's like, it's a possibility, right? But if you're living in like a mega city like this, like our city in our world, which is a mirror of Hong Kong, China, parts of the world where it's like, it's so hard to survive that, like, that love. And then, like, look at Japan, like parts of Asia where it's like, people don't know how to love anymore because you're so overworked, you're so disconnected from yourself. That it's like, it's almost like love becomes this foreign alien thing. And so in parts of the world, it definitely is, love as a concept is more removed than others, and our film is really much like a exploration of that. And it's fascinating, like, if love, loneliness, it's like the primal things of being a human being, so yeah.
And I like the take on it. I mean, I think that's what felt fresh about this film, is just the way you address it. You talked about Hong Kong. What was it like? You also shot a little bit in Australia, no? Or yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
What was it like, obviously shooting in, I always say home continent because you're a continent to us in the United States, but how is it shooting in Australia, but also how was it shooting on set? One of the things that I felt watching the film is like the background was another character. I mean, it didn't feel like just a throwaway. I mean, it was just really well shot. It was that. So what was it like filming out there?
I mean, have you been to Hong Kong, Chris?
No.
Oh, okay. I know, but I know it will never be the same, right? Like, I feel like we definitely captured one of the last moments in time of Hong Kong.
Yeah, as Hong Kong, it's like what we visualize it. Yeah.
And yeah, as you said, it's its own character. It's this vessel. It's always changing. You can't explain Hong Kong, but it's electrifying. It's chaotic. It's so alive. It's like, it feels very, very human. It wants to say something. It's always like, it's in your face, right? It's overwhelming. And if you watch Wong Kar-wai films, and if you watch Loveland, you feel it all. Like, it's like you can smell Hong Kong. Yeah, it's my favorite place in the world. Like, In the Mood for Love was a film that changed my life. So I got to shoot in like the streets that Wong Kar-wai shot in with Ivan. It was so real. And you must go one day and like watch the film, and you'll be like, in so many ways, I feel like our film's like a tourism thing for Hong Kong as well. You know, but yeah, amazing place. Just it's like, and especially Kowloon, it's like lost in time. You know, yeah, which is it's a really fascinating thing. So I feel like it's the perfect landscape for our film. Like you can't tell, you know, when it's set, you know, all that stuff.
One thing that I feel talking with you and obviously talking to Ryan is it felt like the crew is like a family. Tell me a little bit of any fun moments from set, any moments that you took away from it and you were just like, man, this is so fun. Like not only is this an awesome job, but this was a particularly a fun experience.
Well, because the film was made for like $2, you know, like indie Australian films, there's not enough money as America. You guys have more money. But like, yeah. So we had a local Hong Kong crew, and the first 2 days, they kept dropping us off at like a hamburger joint or like a really Western place, like to eat, like, and we're like, why are you dropping us off and just leaving us? Like they literally leave us with the driver, leave us, and then they go to eat somewhere else. And we're like, and then day 3, I was like, no, we want to eat what you guys eat. We want the local food. So after that, oh, Chris, every single meal, we were having like, you know, like the stir fries, the congee, the steamed custard buns. Like it was just like a feast. And, you know, being Asian, we over order because it's like a fear of not having enough food. So the catering was insane. So we had the best food. And then we went to karaoke in our wrap party night. Like it was the best. It very much, yeah, it was a family, you know, like 2 little crews together. And it's funny because the Hong Kong crew, like, you know, Australian crews are very respectful and stuff. It's more like, you know, larrikin, very chill. But the Hong Kong crew is very like, yeah, very like militant and like, yeah, it made the Australian crew feel so unprofessional. But yeah, it was the best. It was the best.
You know, you mentioned obviously ordering being Asian. I wanted to bring that up. I mean, representation matters, and it's always mattered, and it's mattered so much more now. Being, you know, obviously an Asian actress, how does that feel about representation? Because I think there are so many times that you know, if people don't see themselves on screen, they don't dream, they don't feel like they can do that. How does it feel to be a part of such an amazing film and representing your Asian culture and letting people know like we can be actresses and actors and be major characters in these films?
I feel emotional. I feel like something that I always talk about, but you know, just being asked about it again. It's, you know, like my whole life I always wanted to do this. And like I only grew up watching, you know, like Kate Winslet, Charlize Theron, Natalie Portman, all that stuff, amazing actors. And then through time, African American actresses who inspired me so much. But no, it feels like a dream come true, you know. Like had I got to watch something like this as a little girl, like that would have made me pursue my dream way younger. You know, it would have given me the courage to fly. Like I didn't ever feel like I could fly and be a part of this industry. So to have this beautiful script and this complex character who's just, you know, as you said, like not totally defined by her Asianness, just like a human being who just like lives, breathes, works, longs, desires. Yeah, it's important because, you know, as you know, working in this industry, you know, being a storyteller, like you directly impact how people view certain, you know, minorities and types of people in society. And if a young woman of color watches this film and sees herself, if a white man, you know, watches it and sees himself and sees the common humanity, like it just brings us all closer together. So yeah, it's very important to be represented. Absolutely.
Absolutely, well said. And you hit a great point. And not only, you know, has women of color see you and think I can do this, but it starts to show that these films are doing really well. Like, I mean, I am part of the LGBTQ community, but other than that, I'm just a white male. I don't want to see all white actors. I love diversity. I love that. So thank you so much for your character and just representation. It's amazing.
No, thank you so much.
So we got to do this because we're getting to the end. Why do people have to see this? I saw it. I loved it. I think it's such a cool film. It's such a complex film. For you, like, why do you want people to make sure that they watch this? It's coming out this month.
Yeah, I mean, I said it before, but if you like In the Mood for Love and Blade Runner, and if you don't know Ivan Sen's work, he's one of Australia's best, most talented auteurs. This is his first film set in the city. All his other films have been set in the desert, in the outback. And honestly, it's just like a painting. Like, yeah, I hope you watch it. It's very romantic as well.
Final quick question, because it's very important. Who did the best in karaoke in the rap party? Who killed it?
Well, I don't want to be confident like Americans. are in everyday life. I feel like that's like the, to be, but it's clearly me.
I know.
I think it was me.
Because that's you singing in the film, right?
Yeah, that's me singing. There
You're
was
an incredible
no
singer.
other voice artist. Oh,
You're,
thank you, Chris.
you
Thank
did
you.
such a good singing. I was wondering. I was like, is she lipping? But you sang amazing, so I'm sure you killed the karaoke one.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris.
It's been such a pleasure. Oh, go on. Sorry.
Hugo was okay. Maybe a close second.
He's a legendary actor, but only like a runner-up in karaoke.
Runner-up in karaoke.
Well, it's such a pleasure. Thank you for showing this film. I mean, it was really good. I know it was called Loveland. It's coming out as expired. Very good film. Everybody needs to see it in select theaters, obviously also streaming services. And we know that this is not going to be the last we see of you. Continue to follow your dreams. You're incredible. You sing off the chain, and it was so good seeing the film. Have a great rest of your day, and thank you so much for your time, Jillian.
Oh, thank you so much, Chris. I'm so grateful for your time and your thoughtful questions. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
You too. Take care.
I'll see you at karaoke someday.
No, you don't want me to.
No,
no, I sound like a dead cat. I sound like a dead cat. You don't want me at karaoke. I'll lip sing and you sing for me.
Okay.
So. All right, thank you so much.
See you, Chris. Bye.